Hi, this is Sandy Rusk with Sandy on the Scene, and we are at the Palladium Concert Hall in Carmel this evening for the closing season of the Indiana Wind Symphony. And I'm going to catch up with the music director, Charles Conrad, and also 12-year-old trumpet soloist, Natalie Dungey. After this amazing performance, I caught up with Charles Conrad, who is the music director for the Indiana Wind Symphony. It was amazing, Charles. Thank you so much.
Oh, well, thank you. And this was an exhausting one. A lot of notes in this concert.
Most definitely. And, you know, every time I see you after a performance, I know that it's a lot of work up there.
Oh, yeah, but it's a lot of fun, too.
Now, tonight's performance was kind of special. Is this kind of the wind down of your season?
Right. This was the finish of our 2010-2011 season. And then we'll do some concerts over the summer, but we'll be back in the Palladium again in September now.
So you actually, the Indiana Wind Symphony actually does performances not only here at the Palladium, but at other venues as well.
Right. During the summer, they're mostly patriotic and pops concerts, and our next performance will be back with Natalie again at the Great American Brass Band Festival in Danville, Kentucky. And we're thrilled to be playing with her again and to be doing some things on a Sousa Festival there.
Well, Natalie definitely is an amazing talent at only 12 years old.
Oh, yeah, and trumpet is an instrument you don't see young children playing at that level that young. It's just amazing.
And you're working on some additional projects. I think there's a book in the works. Can you tell me about that?
Right, it's one on the history of circus music.
Circus music?
Yeah, and of course had a recent episode with that was a lot of fun. The movie Water for Elephants was about a 1930s circus, and I got to work on that one as their musical consultant.
Well, I wasn't aware of that. That's so exciting. Now, how did your involvement with the project come about?
Well, actually, the composer, James Newton Howard, decided on a march by Fred Jewell that he wanted to use as part of the soundtrack. And so he asked the people at 20th Century Fox to find out who knew something about Fred Jewell. Well, they'd ran a Google search. I wrote my dissertation about him. So
there you go. How exciting.
Yeah, so it was almost by accident. And the interesting part about it, it didn't make it in the final cut.
Oh my.
So they actually didn't use that piece of music.
But I'm sure it was a fantastic experience being involved in that type of production.
Oh yeah, it was a lot of fun, and it was great to see the final product on the screen.
So any other major projects coming up that you'd like to discuss?
Oh, we're going to announce our next season at the Palladium here very soon. We'll have 6 concerts starting in late September.
Wow, we'll definitely be looking forward to that, and you know I'll be in the audience.
Oh, terrific. Well, we'll be thrilled to have you.
Well, it's always a pleasure, Charles Conrad. You are the music director for the Indiana Wind Symphony, and thank you so much for joining me here on Sandy on the Scene.
Oh, thanks for joining us at the Palladium. Always great to have you in the audience.
It's always a lot of fun. And coming up next, join me where I catch up with Natalie Dungey. Joining me now is Natalie Dungey and her father, Philip. Hi, guys. Thanks for joining me.
Hi.
Hi. Thanks for having us.
Well, you guys, this was an amazing evening, and it was so great to get to see you play your trumpet. You're a soloist, and you actually are here from Seattle, right?
Yeah.
And you just came to Indianapolis for tonight's event?
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah. Now, I found out some interesting things about you earlier today. You wanted to play the trumpet when you were little, but your dad wasn't quite on board yet. Tell me a little bit about that.
Oh, well, I think he thought I was too young to play, and that he wanted me to learn when I had understanding of how to play and what it was.
But you weren't quite thrilled with that answer, right? So what did you do?
So I just started playing on my own.
And kind of taught yourself some stuff initially, right?
Yeah.
And what made you decide to do that, do you think?
I just really loved the trumpet and how it sounds.
Okay. Now, Phil, you're actually a trumpet teacher. You teach trumpet, right?
Right, yeah.
So what did you think when she just didn't take no for an answer and just went ahead and did it on her own?
I watched her and saw what she was doing and made sure physically things were working okay. And I kind of challenged her. I said, okay, if you really want to play, then here's the book, and we'll see what happens. And she did. She took the first 2 pages of the method book and worked all the lines and asked me how they were, and finally said, okay, fine, I'll start teaching you. So.
Well, with determination like that, you could hardly argue, right?
No, and she was able to get a good sound and play the stuff. I'd never seen anyone play that young that well, so I couldn't refuse anymore.
So, Natalie, you're 12 now, but this was happening when you were only, how old?
I just turned 7.
You just turned 7. And I assume since your dad teaches trumpet, you'd been seeing this kind of all your life, and that was really what got your interest going.
Yeah.
Now, since that happened, from age 7 until now, what have you done? Where have you played?
I have played, I started off practicing on my own, and then my dad's student did the national trumpet competition, and I wanted to do that because his student got in the paper.
Got in the paper? Okay.
And she had a lot of fun. And so I auditioned with a tape recording, and then I got in, and so I went to Fairfax, Virginia, and I played the Hummel first movement.
And so you're here in Indianapolis now, so it means that you really are starting to do quite a bit of traveling.
Yeah.
And do you like that?
Yes.
So what do you see coming up next? I can ask you this question as well, Phil.
She's got her summer pretty full. She's doing the great brass band festival in Danville, Kentucky. And then after that, she's doing the Festival Mozart in Montana. And she's doing the Brit Festival in Oregon. And then after that, she's doing the Hummel Concerto with the Auburn Symphony in the Seattle area, which is a professional orchestra. And the conductors invited her to play. After hearing her on From the Top, he was really impressed and wanted her to play. So beyond that, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Well, you've got a busy summer. Lots of things coming up, right?
Yeah.
What are you most excited about, Natalie?
Probably going to Kentucky, because I've never been to Kentucky, and Vincent DiMartino is there, and he wanted to hang out and be really fun.
There you go. Well, you did an amazing job. We just have to say congratulations. We loved having you both here in Indianapolis, and we're going to really look forward to see what's coming up for you next, Natalie. Well, we've had an amazing time this evening here at the Palladium Concert Hall in Carmel. If you haven't seen the venue yet, you've got to come and check it out. It's truly amazing. And thanks for joining us on this episode of Sandy on the Scene, and catch up with us next time.